Hello. So basically, I wanted to record this for the tutorial sessions. I don't know when I will come around to this, but basically, I want to cover a section uh, in Clip Studio Paint that's super cool, and hopefully, other softwares have this function too. I'm suspecting that Photoshop does have it, and I will later check on if Medibang or Krita can do the same. The thing I'm going to do is make a chain for the Witcher necklace pendant, wolf pendant thing, and do that. I'm going to prep the layer. So first of all, I have two layers. These are just blank raster layers. They are both in a folder named chain. And the thing that I am going to do with them is that, let me just quickly make it bigger. So these are the layers. And what I'm going to do is go up, and for this you need this tab that's called layer property. It adds an effect to the layer, and these are the effects that it can add onto it. And this basically gives a border effect. It's not showing because if I move it then it will be offset. This is a tone and this is layer color. So these two are, if you have a gradient, this will make it like a half tone pattern, like you can see in manga or like Japanese style comic books or black and white comic books. This is how they make the grays in black and white comic books. And this one, the layer color, is just changes all of the color of the current layer to a color that you choose. And I'm going to use this one, the border. And as you can see, it pops up another menu. You can have Watercolor Edge. This is for some reason only black. I didn't find anything that would suggest that it has color options. And this is the edge. It makes a crispy edge for anything that you draw on this layer. We will see in a second. You can set up the thickness of the edge, and you can set the edge color, and you can give it anti-aliasing. And if you don't have this ticked on, the border will be pixelated. If you are not doing like high resolution, it will be super like blocky, and even in high resolution it will also be super blocky. But sometimes you need this type of edge, uh the not ain't like this ticked off. Sometimes you need that. For what I'm doing, I don't ever need that. So have that ticked on. Edge color, everything, every outline I have is black, so I will change it to be black. So now it's black, and I will play with the line, the edge thickness. Most my outlines were made with a brush that's size is 12, like this one, G pen size 12. So to have that, I think I will need, because of the the pressure sensitivity of the pen, the average of the line thickness with a 12 size pen, brush tip, is around 7, 8. So I will set it to 7 first. And the layer is set up. And actually, I accidentally set up the folder. This means that it applies this to both layers. I don't want that. So for that, I can just come back here and turn it off. And then select the layer, set it up, order. Let's have 8 and black. So you can see everything is 0, so it's black. And set up the other layer the same way with layer property, border, edge, anti-alias on, black, and 8. And now that my layers are set up, this is where the fun starts. So to make a chain, I will have one layer for the links that we see from the side, and for the other I will use the other for the links that we see from the top. The top will always overlay the side, so I will name this side, and I will name this top. And this is when I can actually start doing what I wanted. And for that, I'm turning off the magnifying function, and I'm giving it back the whole folder I gave back with the drag and drop of the ruler. Everything can be drag and dropped. You can drag and drop mask layers or masks, and you can drag and drop rulers. So what's going to happen is that I will start in the middle, and for that I'm using the Millipen. The Millipen has a function that it has the same thickness throughout, and it's also smooth. So I will set it to, let's see, how thick I want the link be. I think this will be good, so it will be 10 thick. And can I convert this to vector layer? Convert layer. Oh yes, I can. So I just realized that it's better if I have it in vector. You will see why. Because no matter, I need to change the color of this. So no matter, this seems a little thick, so I will decrease the thickness. As you can see, here's an outline I already have. So I'll just come here and set it. Seems like 5 is even 4. 4 works good with the link. And I will set this to 4, just because it has to be the same. And I'm going to use a gray. And so as you can see, it has a curve. I can't really draw very straight lines, unfortunately. So Let me just undo this. Oh yeah, it undid the setup as it should. Like this is totally the thing it should do. Hmm. I have more options, and I'm converting this layer to vector layer too. So I have my color. It seems like that 10 is the thickness that I want. I go to straight line, um, starting and ending. I have it set on none because that way it will use the brush shape, and I set it to be 10. And I will just start the first link. I'm trying to do it in the middle, and by pressing down shift I can bring it down. I think it's too thick, so I'm going to change it to be 8. Let's see how 8 works. It's a bit better, but I think it can be thinner. So I can come to the operation tool on the toolbar, have it on object, and I can change the brush size here. If the whole layer is selected, it selects everything on it, and I can have as many lines as I want, and it will set every line to be the same thickness. So I think 6 is more than enough. And I already made a mistake, so this will be the top and this will be the side, because this is actually the top link. Now, the other thing is that because the symmetry ruler is turned on, that I have a duplication here. So with object uh, or operation object, I can click on it. If anything's on top of it, it will select that. So this means the ruler too. So I have to remove those. Now I can select it. And I will press delete and it will stay there because it's a duplication, as you can see. Now it's only one object, but I can show like Ctrl Z and I can move this away. So yeah, I deleted it and now I can have my little guides back on. And I will have, oh, I have this size and I want it to be similar in size throughout. Then I can just copy this and set it up, then select one side and mirror it using the ruler. But that's not going to be that's not going to work for me for now. So I come back to the figure tool and I come to the side and I will make the middle link, and I need start from center and brush size set to the same as the straight line that we changed the size of, and it is 6. So I need these set up to 6 and the ellipse tool set up to brush size 6 to start from center, have anti-aliasing on, and I don't need the aspect type. And I will start from here. And there it is. I find it a little bit big, but because this is a vector layer, first of all, I'm going to remove one of them because symmetry tool, so it's duplicate. And this is also not really in the middle, so, and it can't really be in the middle, but we'll deal with that later, that these are centered. So for the side, I can press Ctrl T, and without selecting keep aspect ratio, I can squash it down. So this is the link I want. And now I come to the top, select straight line, come here, and make a line using my fingers as pointers. I'm literally using my fingers, you can see that. Putting them on the edges of the link that's from the sides, and then moving them around to see how long they need to be for the top. And basically that's how you can make a chain. Now I'm going to copy the side because now I have the size for that link, and duplicate layer, and going to move it here. Control T. I'm moving the anchor point to be here. That's the side of it. I'm moving it down so the anchor point is where I want it to turn around, and I can adjust the angle now. So I have two links now, and I can move it a little bit closer to make it look better. And for the top, I select with the object, operation object, I click on this, and I can press Ctrl C. I can do another vector layer and press Ctrl V. It doesn't have the same properties, so you can see that this is just a line now. So I have to set it up to be the same as the layer below, or I don't need to do that. I can just merge it with the layer below or transfer it below, and immediately it comes to the right spot. Now I can't use Ctrl T on this because then it will select everything that's on this layer. So all of these. And now I can come back to this shape. Ctrl C. I'm still in operation object. Ctrl V. I can move it here, and let's check if I actually said it correctly. So Ctrl T, yeah, it selects both of them, so I can't really use that. So I have it like this. Move it a little bit to have the curve that I want. And let's see how this part is. So it should disappear under this shoulder pad. This is what I need, but because of the size, this top link should be visible here, even if a little bit. So Now I'm going to go to top again, Control C, use this separate layer, Control V, move it where I want it. I can now press Control T, move the anchor point here, and adjust the angle more easily. And now I can transfer it down and I have my chain. And to have it on both sides, I just have to make a copy of this layer, duplicate layer, press Ctrl T, it has both these links selected. I move the anchor point to the middle. It's best to have it zoomed in. And I can now press flip horizontally and I have my two sideways links there. And now I can merge it down. Okay, and it seems like that with merge down I have to redo the layer properties, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use transfer the layer below, and that way I still have the options I want, and I can delete these additional vector layers now. And now I have to, the easiest thing is to select this and this, press Ctrl X, transfer them back onto the other layer on top. And another way of doing it is by not copying the whole layer, but pressing just Ctrl T, move the anchor point where it needs to be, in the middle, using the ruler as a guide. And now I can click on Keep Original Image, and you can see it changed the width. It actually didn't change it, it's just copying these two lines on top of themselves, and because of that, every pixel that's opaque, um, well, stays opaque, but those that have transparency settings on get those transparent pixels laid on top of each other, and that makes it darker or more opaque. And with Keep Original Image ticked on, I can now press Flip Horizontal at Center of Rotation. Center of Rotation is our anchor point, and now I have them at the correct place with keeping the original parts and also having them on the same layer. Okay, see, it's on the same layer. And now I can transfer to lower layer, and immediately I have all the chain links that I wanted, and I don't need the helping layer anymore. So one thing about this is that if you just merge it down, these properties of the outlines will disappear. And the other thing is that if you want to, well, merge it down, you need to rasterize it first. So right click, rasterize. If you do that, um, let's see, I think, yeah, it merges it with the layer property. So now it's on there, and no matter what else you draw on this layer, it will not have that outline property anymore. That's with rasterization, and that's how you can keep it the way it is. So yeah, that's the thing that I wanted to cover. And because of this chain, I will need to cut this part off and have it like the shoulder pads need to be on their separate layer, and the chain needs to be below that and above the armor. So yeah, that's going to be the next step in creating this live 2D costume. I hope you liked this and hope you learned something new, and see you on tutorial Thursday with another time of me just talking about how to do stuff. So yeah, see you then.